And we back, and I'm the Dadadpanther, and we're going to talk about AEW games. And I know I did a video, which is actually my more popular video right now, about what I want from the game, what we, the community, want. But I've got some questions. Kalika-lika-la. All right, let's go for 3 likes, 3 comments on this. I would really appreciate it. It's a new channel. I appreciate you guys hitting the subscribe button and literally telling other people, sharing the videos that I'm putting out. And I greatly appreciate that. So let's get in the ring. Now, we know there's an event going on the 10th, okay? And we're hyped about this event because we're hyped about another, for some reason, not some reason, we're hyped about another game. Whether you're an AEW fan, whether you're just a wrestling fan, whether you're a video game fan, for whatever reason, we do need more people in the ring in the conversation of making a game. It's just good business, right? So EAW is coming out with a game, or is it games? See, after I did my other videos, I realized, I'm like, man, they've done their thing as games, and sometimes you'll hear studios use the term games at the end, but they really note it for one type of game, or that's what they do. But I was thinking, and with a little research, the internet is out there. You should give it a try. And there was a patent or some conversation of them getting the name for AEW Elite GM mode. And so I started thinking in my head, like, what other games could they bring? Because maybe initially I'm just thinking, next gen systems. I don't know if they go on a current gen system. So what about a mobile game? Now I'll do another video on a WWE game that's actually coming out. Really, it's coming out by this holiday season, and I think it's called Undefeated, and they just put that information out. So you'll see another video on that later, or on my channel. But what would they do in mobile? Could they do a GM game that you could, you're on the train, or maybe you're stuck at your mother-in-law's house and you want something to pass the time, and so you're running your own, name it what you want, your own league. And it's doable. And even when you look at games like Battlefield or Battlegrounds, sorry, for WWE, or even the Underground game, not Underground, Undefeated game that they're coming out with this holiday season, that's a game that is doable. Or if you remember, the WWE Universe game was kind of like a card game thing. They kind of put those elements in there. So they could have their way at doing multiple things, because if they're watching and taking notes, companies that they're going against competitively, respectively, like the WWE, put their hands in multiple cookie jars. It could be a PC GM game. It could be a PC game in general. Now, Kenny Omega, who's basically right now been the face of conversation about getting the game and how he feels about it, and even on Twitter, him reaching out to Aki as far as, hey, look, we'd love to work with your engine, and this is, what I want to do, and bring it to the forefront. Now, we don't know what Ukes is doing, which was with the publisher THQ for so many years. But if I'm correct, basically, it's kind of how you have the situation with the 2K WWE games. Ukes was working on some stuff, and then I believe someone, working with 2K was like, hey, look, we're going to go a different direction. And they basically said, well, figure out the codes on your own. We're gone. Or they were, moved out of the way without transitioning the process over. So that's why you had a lot of stuff done probably the way it was, or even the new devs coming in and saying, hey, look, we're going to change some other buttons up. We're going to make this ours, and then next season we'll fix it. And then the reaction was so crazy. It's being one of the worst rated games, not just wrestling, games in general. And I think that'd be cool. If it's one or two of those companies, I mean, which company would you care for as far as of the two? Like, I would really love the gameplay from Aki, but man, Ukes has been in the game for what, over 20 years? So it's like reliable. It's kind of like stopping at a mechanic, and the mechanic's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 47 years. So yeah, I could change that piston and that CV joint, throw the thing up on the hitch, and we're good. You would feel confident that that job is getting done for whatever the price is, and it just so happens they sell waffles and coffee in the diner that's connected. But whatever, getting off track. how far along is this game in process? You know, when we get to the event, we're going to get these questions asked, but these are the questions I can't stop thinking about. Like, how far have you guys been working on this? Kenny has said in the past that through the process, he's liked what he's seen at various stages of this. Now, most games that are done and come off, you know, really well, like Hades from PC, or man, I can't think of Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 and now PlayStation 5. Those games are done in advance and then go through a process. You know, Drake's Uncharted, Gears of War. How long was this process? How did they come to this process? And I hope in the event that they allude us to that information, how much input do they have from the community? Like, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to listen to my video, but there's other people who are creating content on so many levels where they're saying, I mean, the Reddit community, the community in general is like, this is what we want from a wrestling game. And a lot of it gives you the answers to make multiple wrestling games. So are they listening to the community? The other thing is, did they learn from 2K? Now, what I mean by 2K, did they learn from 2K with the ads that they're putting inside games? Did they learn with 2K that they keep putting out a game every year, as it looks like, especially in sporting, that the games are transitioning to live service, to gacha, to free to play, to games that are constantly throwing in microtransactions and be long term, because the game's developing, not the developing crew, but the company's, not plot, because that sounds so bad, but just the long game. Hey, let's get them to buy the game, and then from there, let's get them to keep playing the game. And then when they're not playing anymore, let's drop something new for them. Are they watching that? Are they watching stuff with the WWE? How the WWE is, like I said before, is putting their hands in multiple cookie jars, and they're coming up with different concepts, so that if you're into a simulation game, here you go. You like arcade, here you go. You like card-based games, you know, similar to Pokemon or Magic, here we go, we got you. And they keep putting their hands in multiple cookie jars, and maybe at the end of their conversation of how they did yearly, they still make a profit. And I'm curious if they're looking at something like that. Are they watching other new games? I'll do a video about the wrestling code for Virtual Basement, but are they watching games like that? You know, there's a few games that are coming out. You got Retromania that's coming out, 2K2022 that everybody is really waiting for, because they're saying they're going to fix and get everything back on track. Battlegrounds that came out recently. So I'm just curious, like, what is this event going to show off? Now, I think it would be really cool if it was an arcade game with sim elements. I would really like if this game was a live service game. I'm sorry, yes, I said it, a live service game. Okay, I know some of them get a bad rep, but hear me out, right? The game comes out now. If Virtual Basement's wrestling code holds true to their 60 plus wrestlers, indie wrestlers, and some wrestlers that you know the name of, especially you know the name if you're really big on indie wrestling. Now, if they have less than 60 wrestlers, right? Would you fault them for that? If they came out and said, hey, look, we're going to give you a game every year on the year, I don't think they can do that, because I'm not trying to, I prefer their programming over WWE right now. But why can't the game come out with a certain amount on the roster, and then you constantly add players to the roster and add modes and things of that nature? I think that's where we're going. If you can launch the game without bugs, with good gameplay, good online play, and keep giving new modes, contents, characters, and updating the wrestlers, music, and all that other stuff, I don't think anyone has a problem. No one has a problem with waiting if they're able to kind of play and do something. It's waiting with a buggy game, or waiting with a game that hasn't been fully thought through with the end game. The other part about it is it going to be a picture? Is it going to be a sit down, like a E3 reveal type of thing, or is it going to be more or less a sizzle trailer where they're going to show us stuff that we didn't think they would have ready together? You know, picture, you know, a regular trailer with the storyline going through it. But man, I just think the possibilities are endless, and I'm excited on the possibility of what this game can actually put out. So I appreciate you. You could have been anywhere in the world, and you're here, you're listening to me talk, and I hope you have a great day. And if it isn't great, I hope it gets better. That is for sure. Till next time, kalika-lika-low.